All right. Never a doubt, right? No, it was, again, I think for us, we just got to start faster as an offense. We got to finish in the red zone. I feel like it's becoming a theme now these next few weeks, and we got to get it figured out. I feel like our defense is playing really, really good football. But yeah, we got to step it up a little bit as an offense. And that starts with me. But we got to play better. And like I said, we got to be better on third downs, be better in the red zone. And we will be better. We'll look at the tape and get better. But again, we got a quick turnaround for Thursday night against LA that we'll be ready for.
Despite what you said there about needing to step it up, does it show you something though that twice you guys need to go down and score late in the game? You were able to do so both times.
Yeah, it's great. To be able to get in those situations where you got to have a 2-minute drive or a late drive to put us in position to be able to win the game, and we get it done. And those are the situations that we practice throughout the week, and it's good to have those drives when we need it.
What did you feel like started working a little better in the second half, though? Offensively, you did kind of get it going a little more.
Yeah, I think it was great. First of all, it was great adjustments by our coaches. By us, as players, being able to take those adjustments and run with it and execute it. And I think that was it.
What did you see in the first half from the way that it seemed like they were able to successfully get rushers back into the pocket and force you to move up quite a bit early on? And then as the game progressed, second half, it seemed like that's stopped for the most part. But what did you see them effectively doing in terms of, creating problems for you guys with your pass protection calls?
Yeah, I thought they did some really good stuff defensively. But again, we just got to watch the tape and grow from it, get better that way. I think, again, the other thing, too, of some of the protection stuff, I think that was on me a lot of the times, just holding on to the football. I thought I could have gotten the ball out a couple times early in the first half.
What would you think of having Jalen back at center and kind of how that worked after being without him here for a month or so? Yeah,
it was great. I think, obviously Olu did a really good job when he was in there, but, having Jalen back and just for him to be able to get a really good week of practice in, and I felt like we didn't miss a beat, with the way that he was able to get in there and do his job today.
You mentioned about the slow starts in the first half in the last 3 games. Is there anything you could pinpoint, thing or two? I mean, you mentioned some things, but do you look back in hindsight and say, we could have done this better?
Yeah, I think it's just about going out there and, executing. I mean, it sounds cliche, but it's true. We just got to do a better job of all 11 doing our job. And again, like I said, that starts with me.
You obviously would rather Jason Myers doesn't have to kick a bunch of field goals, but just what can you say about him? 6 field goals, 56-yard game winner.
Yeah, J-My's been incredible all year. And, he's, again, like I keep saying, hopefully we don't need to use them as much as we are. Hopefully they're PATs and not field goals. But he's been, excuse me, he's been doing a great job for us.
Being able to go to Shaheed those moments during that final drive, is that the product of maybe just having the time with him that you've had since he arrived?
Yeah, for sure. I think, having Sheed and him being able to, me and him getting on the same page with certain things, and him being just ready to go when his number's called. That's been a theme, ever since he's gotten here. So whether it's in the punt return game, kick return game, or as a receiver. So he's been doing a great job for us.
From what you saw in the sets out there on the field, why do you think the run game kind of struggled to find some footing today?
Say that first part again?
Yeah, just from what you saw out there and kind of feeling it out on the field, what do you kind of think led to the run game struggles today?
Yeah, I think first of all, it's a great defense. They did a really good job. But again, we got to watch the tape and kind of see, what they did or how they affected us in the run game and go from there.
Was Shaheed your primary on the last drive there, or was that some progression?
On which one?
The bigger one, the first one.
Yeah. When I threw him the ball, it was just a play that we've been practicing for a long time. But it was just coverage kind of dictated that I should have thrown the ball, and I did, and it was a big play. And I'm glad he ran a really good route, got open, and we kind of took care of the rest there.
Cooper talked about JSN, how the way he competed in this game, when maybe early on the balls were finding him, and then finished with some big plays. What did you see out of Jaxon today?
Yeah, he's a competitor. He's one of those guys that, he's not going to shut down or anything when he doesn't get the ball. He knows that when his number's called, he's going to, step up and make a big play. And again, he's not going to try to force it or anything. It's very natural with him, and he knows the ball's going to find him eventually when we need it the most. And I felt like he stepped up in a really big way today. Just continuing to be a really good leader for this team and be a really good receiver.
You still control your fate, for the final 10 games. How valuable is that this time of the year?
Yeah, it's huge. We know what these games, these upcoming games mean for us as a team, but we're just going to continue to do our process and go from there. But with the understanding that it does mean a lot.
I know you said you've got through this a lot with the 2-minute drills and stuff, but as Mike's calling the timeout, so there might be some time on the clock there. What kind of are you thinking there? Before that.
Yeah, when Indy was kind of going on their second to last drive there, it was just, understanding that, field goal puts them up, and we might be in a position to where we need to, get a couple big plays to put us in, field goal position. And I think, like I mentioned before, but she did a really good job in that kick return, just getting north really quick for us and getting those yards that were crucial. And then the 2 plays that he made as a receiver, too, were important as well. So he's been doing a great job for us. But, yeah, that was what was kind of going through my head at that point.
Did it surprise you? They were barely across midfield when he started using the timeouts. Did that surprise you when he started doing it?
Who started?
When Indianapolis just got across midfield is when he started using the defensive timeouts.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean, it's just the situational stuff that we practice that, obviously, Coach Mike and our entire staff, they all practice it so much. They talk about all these situations so much, so we're always ready for that.
Is there a advantage to one or the other where you have 50 seconds but you have no timeouts, or versus 30 seconds but you have 2 or 3?
Yeah, I think in that position, I think we handled it perfectly because you don't want them to try to burn because you'd rather have 50 seconds with no timeouts than 15 or 20 seconds in all 3 timeouts, or maybe 2 or 1 timeout. So I thought we handled that situation perfectly.
Anything else?
Thanks, guys.